Welcome everybody, Season 8, Round 2 Legacy action from Europe, now between Aric Halden at the top and John Kirtley at the bottom. John was the recorder of this. You can see he's on affinity. Turn 1 cellist, so it's going to be tough here for on 1 though, so if he named it on 0 it would have been much better, I think. You can see Aric at the top, our group admin and league mod for Europe. Perennial second placer. He plays on and off in Europe, not always playing, but he has played a number of seasons, and he has one format title, which is standard in Season 3, when he stopped Felix from getting the clean sweep in Europe. If Felix had won that final, he would have got every title that season. John Kirtley, our lone UK player. This is only his second season in the league, so pretty new. And unfortunately for him, he's going to be kicked out of Europe on the 29th of March. That's a joke. My jokes don't get any better, so I'll see myself out. He's not getting kicked out, in case anybody takes that seriously. He's on affinity. 2 steel overseers here. Worm, I'm not sure what he's on at the moment. Mono red prison, I'm guessing. Choice there for John between swinging for 1 or just tapping, which is what he decides to do. The danger here of tapping is that Mono Red Prison probably plays Ensnaring Bridge, so you'd be expecting that to be coming down pretty soon. And I don't believe Affinity has any answer for Ensnaring Bridge, so Wim's going to go for turn 2 Chandra, Torch of Defiance. I was going to say he could have kept the Overseers at 1 and then gotten under the Ensnaring Bridge for a period of time, but not going to work anymore. Here's a big Fiery Confluence. You can see John's got Phyrexian Revoker in hand. It's going to be able to shut down the Chandra, Torch of Defiance. And Walking Ballista, and he's got a Chalice now of his own, but what do you name it on it? I think the Chalice might come out in this matchup, so he's not going to muck around. Here's a Revoker. He'll name Chandra. So that's a nice, clean answer. On Wim's side, I'm not sure what he would have as win cons here, because Chandra's usually played as... there's a few Chandras in this particular list. Red does have a number of different options, and speaking of win cons, here's the Legion War Boss, which just came out in the first Ravnica, or from the third block of Ravnica, Guilds of Ravnica. Haven't seen this one in Modern before, but it's basically a Goblin Rebel Master where the Master doesn't have to attack, which a lot of people seem to like. He's going to go for Chalice here for 2. I'm not sure I like this because it's going to shut off his Vault Scourge, and I think he could have raced with the life gain there. I also would have been inclined to go for a Walking Ballista for 2 and just shot down that War Boss, although Trinisphere would stop that, sorry. Yeah, so War Boss is presenting a problem here. Or now, if War Boss was a problem, now he's got 2 War Bosses to deal with. This might be too much to overcome here for John. We'll just wait and see what he's going to do. He's thinking. You can see he does have the Ballistas, so Ballista's going to be able to take down... I mean, he can trade over 2 turns, but I suspect the damage might be done by then with these Goblins. And Wim prepared here to trade off a War Boss. And yeah, John's seen enough, so we're going to game 2. That was a pretty quick game 1. Yeah, I played Legacy Eldrazi last week, and one issue that I sort of discovered with it, because I'm fairly new to Legacy as well, even though I've played 8 seasons in the league of it now, Colorless does not have a lot of answers to things like enchantments and artifacts. Well, he's going for similar... well, this is interesting. He's all in on the Arcbound Ravager turn 1. This is going to be interesting to see what response here Aric has, if any. Nothing on turn 1. So what's the play here? He's going to go for Revoker. What's Revoker going to name? This will be interesting. Chandra again, okay. I mean, his main danger here is Fiery Confluence, which is not until 4. Oh, so he's got Rebel Masters and Legion War Bosses. That's interesting. So, under this circumstance, then, the Rebel Master has to attack. So, he can trade the Revoker for the Rebel Master or the Arcbound Ravager next turn. Well, he's got plenty of Ravagers. He's got Ravagers coming out his ears, so he's going to be able to make, John's going to be able to make the trade if he wanted. He's going to go for the Steel Overseer instead. He can't really take the hit here from Rebel Master because the Rebel Master is going to get pumped. It's going to go to a 4-2. So he's not going to be able to race it with the Steel Overseer unless he's prepared to give up the Phyrexian Revoker in a trade. But I think as the board stands, he can't beat the Rebel Master in a race. It sounds funny to say Affinity can't win a race here. I say that on the condition, of course, that Wim we've seen, Aric we've seen a number of removal spells already, so it's just two Rebel Masters now, so that's a problem. The thing is with this second Rebel Master is it's going to force the first Rebel Master to attack. Because it's a Goblin, the Goblin Rebel Master says other Goblins must attack. So the second one forces the first one to attack, and on the next turn it's going to do the same with both. So I'd be inclined here to trade off this Revoker for the Rebel Master. Because the Rebel Master is going to be huge this time. It's going to be a 5-2? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think it's going to pump to a 5-2. So when you're down at 13 life, I think the Revoker's got a block. And it does. Oh, is he gonna sack it? Okay, so another line that he can do here, if that's what he wants to do, is block with the Steel Overseer next turn and then pump it in response. That will also boost the Ravager. The only problem is, well, yeah. So he's pumped it too early. He's trying to race here, but I don't think it's going to work. He's down at 8 life. He has to block a Rebel Master next turn, which means another Rebel Master is going to get through 2 more Goblins. 1, 2, 3. It'll be 5 Goblins plus a 7-2 Rebel Master. So he's going to take 5 next turn. And I don't know if this is going to work. He's going to pump up the Arcbound Ravager. He has to get it to a 10, otherwise he's dead. Because he's got to force the block here. So Aric doesn't have to block. He can just take the hit. Because those lands are not artifacts. He could have just taken the hit, but either way he's got lethal coming back. And so Aric's going to take down Legacy 2 games to 0. I think just a missed timing there from John. He should have blocked and then tapped the Steel Overseer. Because he had to get that Ravager to if he wanted to do that line of play, he had to get the Ravager to 10 in order to force the block. But Wim's going to take down Legacy 2 games to 0.